Hey guys. Hello, hello. I'm trying to jump in this group twice a week and, make that promise to you. You've joined the group. I want to make a commitment back to you by providing you with as much support and places for you to hear some messages that you might not be hearing otherwise in your career as you build this new thing called thought leadership. What is it? Why should I be an expert? Um, is this place full of experts, or are we all trying to get there in our own time? And I think that that's an important question. Um, Two quick announcements I'm very excited about. Number one is I've been working on getting another interview in this group for you guys. I'm going to be interviewing a very awesome specialist in memory retention, speed reading. His name is Matt Dimeo, and he's coming to us in this group later this month. So when we speak to stepping into, being a thought leader in your space, right, being an expert, I know that there are a few, not only people, that I work with right now, but there are some of you out there that just feel overwhelmed with the amount of content, like not only out there in the world to sift through, but a matter of what matters for your business as an expert. What do I need to know? There's a lot of research sometimes involved in that. You're getting more alerts coming across your feed. You have to be on top of trends that are happening both in the news and your industry. It can seem pretty daunting. So what I decided to do was use my network to connect you with an expert in this space. He has written numerous books on Amazon. He has a very popular YouTube channel. In fact, I think he's just got the Silver Award from YouTube. And he will be here. So I am very excited to bring that as a tool you can use to up your memory, conquer overwhelm with your content and everything you're supposed to be reading and filtering, right? Our brains are doing a lot of work, especially when we commit to stepping up, like as that leadership role in our space and in our business. There are, I think you would agree, those of you doing it now, that there's a certain level that is required of you that may not be required of other people just doing your thing, in your own space, competitors that are just kind of walking through their, not really making any inroads in their space, and they might be doing okay, but could you be doing better? Could you be contributing more as an expert in your field, and therefore taking more opportunities, taking larger opportunities, more appearances, more interviews, because you're able to highlight what you know and how to apply it. So that's what we do here, right? I just wanted to tell you that announcement that I will be posting that as an event. And the second thing today that came across my field, and I have posted it, not in this group, I don't think, but it's this concept of welcoming. And can you build something that not only establishes you as an authority in your space, authority in your niche, in your industry, like I know about specifics about this, and here's how I go about it in a specific way. Um, can you do that without coming across as just pushing another message on somebody? Is that possible to feel like when you go out to market that you're actually being welcomed? And my answer is yes. Obviously, it depends on how you're doing that. But yes, it is possible. And how you make that distinction is you can tell when you even go out and you're feeling that push vibration as opposed to just a pull vibration. And my overarching message here is to just make your content and your expertise as relatable and welcoming as possible. So what that means is underlying all this is this sense of community. And how does community develop? It's building trust. Someone is going to be looking for your services. In fact, the article that I'm so jazzed about today came out in just touches on how all of this information we're getting and how people, um, in addition to the climate right now, are just, it's, we're in this culture of like fake news. It's cancel culture. It's um, people's privacy is very, a contentious subject, and not to mention all the social unrest and global pandemic and all this. So just the feelings are just very untrustworthy right now. And I get that. And then you have to go out and market, sometimes on the channels that are perpetuating these types, used as tools to perpetuate this type of mistrust. So I understand it's very daunting when you're going out and saying, well, now I got to Sell myself. Well, let's back up a minute, because when you are claiming expertise in a certain space, I'm speaking to those of you who have experience, who are ready to step into something. You don't know how to do it, you don't know how you're going to package it yet. That's not what I'm talking about. It's that you know there's a gap that needs filling, and somewhere deep inside of you, you know you're the person. You could be the right person to do it. Um, that's what I'm speaking to. So if you're at that point, there is a way that we can make that message and make that marketing be, kind of full of purpose, and building a brand that people are going to welcome into their lives. They could see you as a beacon or a relief or a respite or um, you know, a place of it's okay. So I'm going to ask you, if you're actually going about in your day-to-day marketing right now, building community of any kind, are you, or even if you're not at the point where you're marketing yet and you kind of have this idea of like, I'm going to be this, the expert in this or the coach about that. Um, are you building it in a way that really involves the other person? You know, are you earning people's trust? Are you upholding their values, right? Your audience's true values and what they hold most dear. This also includes things like respecting people's privacy. It's wrapped around this thing called transparency, being very open with not only your approach but your experience and what got you there. So I want to just encourage you that there is room for this message, right? Despite all these things, despite this maybe negative climate that you feel that you would be up against if you even tried to do this thing. Like, is there even a point? Yes, yes, and third answer, yes. Absolutely, because we're coming across these industries and businesses and consumers that feel that there's this transformation happening, and there is. It's being accelerated right now, and it's occurring across all these spaces, and people are looking, um, not to the government, not to our institutions who are supposed to fix these things and make us feel safe. We're really, really looking for a person who has my specific issue in my business or my life that they can bring insight and life into. And that can happen now. um, there are ways to make it profitable. There are ways to give it longevity. There are ways to build it properly. But for now, just know that starting this week, you can actually make one little inroad. So my challenge to you is, what can you do with your marketing this month and this week that creates a culture of community? So, and what would that feeling be like if you were actually welcomed or thanked for your knowledge, your time? People actually went out and started promoting you on their own because of that level of service you gave them. And so naturally, this organic building of your message started to grow. It happens every single day to those who are pinpointed on their purpose and then have a plan to go out and get there. And if you all just focused on building brands and businesses, how would your message change if you started thinking community? How would um, the tools that you use, how would they be different, right? Instead of just telling people what it is and showing the proof and telling them the research, how would the tools change if you started involving people? How different would your website look if you started to create this culture of community and belonging? Um, and then how would it feel to make an impact and receive feedback from that community that way? I want you to put yourself there and just know that when you go to build something full of integrity, that is backed up, obviously, that's producing, um, all steeped in research and fundamental learning and even your own experience, that you can actually, build a brand along with a community. And I would venture to say that is one of the biggest learnings that has come out of 2020 for business owners. If you are not building community of culture into your marketing message and into your message, you are missing out hugely, not only in servicing those people, that you could help with your message, but on multiple partnerships and opportunities and whatnot. Um, So there is such a great wave. So in addition to this wall, you might see yourself like, can I even do this? Or God, I'll just be another voice out there. I'll just be another person talking about X, like, do you really need me out there? And I just want to encourage you, you're not another person talking about X. Because you're right. If you're just another person talking about ABC, and we're hearing that all the time, you're probably right. We don't need another voice in that space, but we need your voice in that space. What are you going to tell us? What are you going to bring? There is a way to hone it, and there's a way to get that kind of pulled out and extracted naturally without kind of breaking any of those fibers and the connection to your purpose. There is a way. It's an extraction. It's alchemy. I love the word alchemy, right? Changing the state of one thing to another, right? Making things into pure gold without and certain changes taking place. That process is my first love. I feel that process can happen with words, communication, with strategic, really smart marketing. But I just wanted you, if you're feeling that sense this week of like, ugh, like why bother, or um, no one will listen anyway. That's how one step you can take this week to combat that feeling. So I encourage you, if you jumped in the middle of the message, go back and listen to it again, and catch it on the replay and listen to it a couple times so that you can actually catch yourself if you're the thing you're building. Um, and that also is the longevity piece. So I teach this a lot and weave it into a lot of the different courses and workshops and whatnot that I do. But I thought it was important to bring it to this group today, this week specifically. So we're all here. This is a community too, a community that's growing. And I do want to have conversations about um, what this word expert means, and let's challenge that concept. Bring the negative, bring the positive. Let's shake it up and redefine what that means in today's society. So, thank you very much for sticking around. And look out for the event announcement about that memory event that's coming up, the how to upload and just up your content consumption like an expert, and kind of filter through things in a new way. It's kind of like a brain retraining with some really helpful tips and tricks. That'll be happening probably November 19th. So I'll send the event for that too. Thanks for your time today. It was nice to see you guys. I'm going to be here for the week and post some really cool stuff. So for now, we'll talk to you later, and have a great day.